Hello there, my name is Emin, EMCsoft, and in this video I will continue my Bitrix training course. So today we will discuss leads again, and I got a plan. We're going to see today how I'm going to set up a lead card, set up display of a lead. So I need to explain what's the difference between client, when you can connect contact and company to a lead, or put data inside of a lead, or put inside client data of a lead. So setting up the client field, so how to set up country for phone, and setting up tabs in lead card, observers, and dependencies and history. So for example, I got some lead and I got, for example, some standard view like use custom view your standard form view, okay? And I may edit that view. If I got admin rights and access to the edit of the lead, I click edit and I can hide some fields or configure some fields, okay? What configure means that I can change the field name, like field name stage 2, okay? So the name of the stage, name of the field is now different. And also I can click show always. Show always mean that show that field even if not that field do not have data. For example, currency 0 here. No, it's not a good example. For example, VAT ID manual got show always. So when I save it, so if there is no data, it's not show anything. But if I will put some data here, save, so I got that field. And you should understand that if, for example, you missed some field in a view of a lead, means that that field do not have a data. So to see, just click edit and find that data. And next time, use show always, okay? Then you got config option, just changing the name of that field, and also you can set up that field as required for stages. Means that, for example, in that stages means that if it will be requested a required stage for all stages, you can't move that lead if you have no data between stages. For example, currently we are in stage, just put new and make it required stage for check data, for example, and so manual and delete data and give a name to that lead 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so that stage is required stage for all leads for that field. So if I move in here, it requests, you got a pop-up which is says that put this data to that field if you want to move to that stage. This is what mean required stage. Okay, then so also you can show always, which I already make it. So also you can set up that field could be visible for some users. For example, I will set up myself. By default it's visible for everybody. VAT ID manual, okay, and I created a test user, okay, this test user. Okay, so I need to change responsible person for test user just to let him see it. Okay, and if I'm going to inside of that lead, and I will use a standard form view. Okay, even if I click edit, company name, I see company name manual, but I do not see VAT ID manual. So you can show some field for some users, but some field will be not available to see for other users unless you will give them permission for that, which is very important. We mentioned that, and the main idea of the lead that on left side you got some static data. So that left side means something which you collect for the lead, like information for the lead. On right side you got an activity, means that, for example, call, SMS, Zoom, meetings, activity, commands, tasks, and other things. Okay, so right part you can't customize, so it means you can't move it, just collecting history here. But on left side you can store some data for leads and you can show lead card how you want. Okay, So this left part split it to sections. By default, you got some sections, but you can delete them, that sections. Okay. Once you delete them, all fields available for the lead will be hidden. So when you click it, select field, you will see hidden fields. So you can select all the fields and show them only in one section, which is not comfortable to use. Okay, so what we can do. I need to hide all sections here, and I can do the settings for lead card. Okay. In my lead card, I want to see, for example, 3 different sections. First section, it will be about a client. So, or about client means that amount of the lead, potential amount, information about client, and some personal information like email and phone. Another section will be about marketing, how I get that data and who is responsible for that particular lead. Third section will be about product. Okay, so this is about client section, and select field. So it will be ID of the lead, client, observers, and responsible. Okay, so also I need to have a lead name, so contact, company, ID, observers. So it's information about client. Then I click add section and click put here like marketing data, and then extract here UTM parameters, source, no, this one source, where from I get that data, when created. So I will get UTM parameters here. So for example, from Google, and it will be, in case of Google, for example, it will be a website. Okay, and create it on. Also, I want to add a section, what kind of product I want to sell to that client. Okay, and here, and products. Okay, and if I want to see data here, I'm just click on products tab and select data, save it. So coming back, nothing selected. I selected here, so I need to move it from here, products right here. And so I got this, and I want to select here amount. So I got information about client, and probably I just need to move this here, just next to. So I got information about client, I got product information, and I got marketing data. So this is selected fields, but also you can create your custom fields. Create string field, list, data, date, time, date, book resource, address, link, file, money, yes, no, number, additional field, create custom fields. Regarding all the fields, I dedicated separate video because this is a very long story to explain all the fields, and I will tell you more detail about these custom fields in our videos. We go into the next section, how we can do the display, how we can set up a display for each of your agents. That means, for example, first of all, you can set up which fields agents may see, which agents not able to see. But also, for example, sales people want to see one data, and the production department want to see another data, and accounting department want to see third type of data. And you can set up how you can do that. So you need to click on this button and then click on new view. Okay, set up a view, and for example, it will be sales department view. Okay, and sales department view, you will select some people. You need to check that box. Then you need to select by department. So department, marketing and sales department, right? And you can select all employees, including sub-departments. Okay, so all users and departments will be used that view. Also, you can set up user by user, which is not correct. Always better to use company to set up some permissions. I will discuss permissions in my later videos. But anyway, so I will show what I mean by departments. This is departments. Before you start set up your Bitrix, you always need to set up, this is the first stage when you start settings for your own Bitrix. So you need to set up your departments, company structure. And in this company structure, you need to set up account department, Bitrix department, marketing department, so on, right? And then by these departments, you will set up some permissions, like in this particular example. Okay, so I set up now that everybody who is in that sales departments will go to some certain view. Okay, and I save it. And for example, sales department will see all this data except marketing data because we don't need them. Okay, so you get sales department view and save. Right, now go into the company structure and move test user to the sales department. Okay, so I'm opening this test lead and I'm in the sales department, got sales department view. I'm selecting it and voila, I got this view. Okay, so I give them a possibility to see it. Okay, so for example, I can give them option to see standard view and many other views, but I can give you option only to see only one view, right? Okay, yeah, first of all, I can edit that view. For example, just need to delete this. For sales department view, I can add some additional users, groups, and by departments, which is correct way of doing that. Okay, then I'm going to create some other view. For example, it will be new view for accounting. So I'm selecting account departments, all employees including sub-departments, and save. And for account departments, for example, I need only amount and products, nothing else. Okay, so I'm going to my test user. Where's my test user here? And I'm taking this test user, going and pulling him in accounting department. And as accounting department, he got only select accounting department view. And voila, he can see only products. Okay. Good. Right. I will discuss a bit more in my other videos about this company structure, which is important. But in this particular video, you can just remember that you need to create departments which users were located to set up view. And also you will need that for the permissions, which I will discuss later as well. Okay, so I got different views. So I can use standard view, and as admin I got these views, reset it, standard view for all users. For example, I can set up some view and set up for all users. For example, if I click here, everybody will see in standard view, this one, in this view, these sections. Okay, right. Now we're going to discuss what means the difference between client field and the name, phone number, email fields. And also I want to mention one important thing, which I forget to mention in my previous video, is exception. The first problem of clients which start to use in Bitrix is that once you connect email or connect email of your agents, you start getting all emails from your email. And you're just thinking that it's like a spam, right? But in fact, if for example you got some incoming emails, you can add that email for exception. For example, add to exception, and next time lead will be not created if you got email from that particular email. Okay, so also when you select that field, you can delete it, which is time consuming. In my previous videos I explained how to do it better, to set up a robot. So you can set up a responsible person, which is good when you need to set up, for example, leads, and by the name understand who should be responsible person for that leads. You can click on it and set up by multiply. So select leads and set up a responsible person for all selected leads. So we're saying good, change stage, like invoice send, or some requested data here. Okay, and create task for all selected leads. Okay, so you go inside, so you go to task and go to here inside, and go to task here as well. Okay, and the same, create call list from selected leads. For example, you're going to call them, check a responsible person who going to make calls, and so ignore this for now and save. Okay, and that leads will be created for call list for selected responsible person. Means that if responsible person will go to my activities, and you got a call list which you need to make a call, start calling, and you start calling one by one for calls. So of course for this call list you need to use Call Center 24. And also you can use a merge. For example, if you got leads, for example, got 2 emails from the same customer, you can just select these 2 leads and merge these 2 leads, okay, in one. Right, good. Okay, I did mention all of this. Now go further. Difference between the client field, name, phone, and emails. So it's kind of a confusing thing. What's the difference between client and these fields? Name, last name, position, company name, and so on. Okay, so they quite common. We saying that why I should put client data twice. So why I should to put phone number, website, name, last name, position, company name, email of a client, and then I need to duplicate it. The thing is that this one is a client field, which is contact and company, right? Contact company means that contacts, it's another object, like for example, with leads, deals, contacts, and company, all of this is different objects. And contacts is the object where you store data. So if you go inside, I will tell you about contacts more as well later, but here you just store data with a static object where you store data. The same story for the company. I just need to set up it, okay, and hide, okay, and yeah, I need to hide this as well. Okay, once you create a lead, when you complete this data here, about contact and company, you store data in contact and company objects. But once you store data here, name and last name, you store data inside of lead. And if you store data inside of a lead, that means that you need to convert that data in contact company in the future once you're going to use it for the deals, for example. I will give you an example. For example, I will hide that. So I hide in contact company, and I will hide this, date of birth, name, last name. By the way, I'm setting now the view of a lead, which fields you need to see once you create a new lead. So I'm putting here lead name like test lead, and I need a phone number. I will put phone number here. By the way, to set up a default country, you need to click here, click config, and select a country. Okay, and save. So you will put here some data, name, test name, test last name, so company name, EMCsoft, email test@yahoo.com. Nobody remember Yahoo already, but I'm so old that I remember it. And available for everyone. Right, so email, and I'm saving data. So got phone number, email, and name and company. Okay, so you should pay attention that that data stored inside of a lead. If you will delete that lead, okay, you will lose that data. If you will complete that lead is junk lead, okay, junk lead, that means that that data will be stored inside of a lead in junk lead stage. Okay, and the thing is that if you want to use that data, for example, for email marketing, for SMS marketing, for voice mail campaign using our application Voicemail24, you need to store that data to a contact, then select them for a marketing campaign. Okay, for example, if you want to convert that data, for example, you need to complete that lead and generate deal, contact, and company. It's better to use robots to create contact company on this stage, which is, less time consuming. You can check my previous videos. But in classical mode, you can just click deal, contact plus company and generate a lead, create a deal in general funnel, save. Okay, so deal created. And once I created a deal, you see that to the deal, client connected as a separate object with test name, last name, contact name, and company EMCsoft. Okay, but there is another option. For example, you create a lead and you don't want to store data inside of a lead. You want to store data inside of the contact and company directly. Okay, so you need to hide this. Okay, select client. Okay, so when you're just creating lead, test lead, you click on contact and put here name of client, test client name, create new contact, and then you put here data, an address, put some address, select a map, and put details. So it's details about company, but it's very time consuming to put all data here all the time. It's better to use robots again. And okay, so in that case, for example, in lead view, you can create only one contact, but in client view, you can create many contacts and connect them to the lead. A participant, and for example, test name 2, and create and put some data here as well. Okay, then you can put company name, create and put data here. Okay, so you got an options to store client data. You got two options to store client data inside of a lead, and then convert that data, the contact and company, when convert to a deal, or use a client. For first option, for example, you got a lot of leads, a lot of junk leads, which you don't need to use in the future. But when you create a lead, and each contact which you're getting from somewhere, even importing data or from Facebook, for Google Ads, you're going to use in the future for email marketing, or somehow you need to store as a contact and company. Okay, and once you store in contact and company, you will use them in the future for something else. In case you store data in contact and company, when you convert on that lead, you click on a complete lead, and you need to select just a deal. And actually, I got only one option to select the deal, because contact the company already created. Okay, right. Let's talk more about this detail stuff. So a company could be a company like limited, right, or person like physical person or solo businessman. Okay, so when you select company, you collect data, find details. You just put more details about that company. Okay, and the same if you selecting solo businessman. Okay, but for my opinion, it's very complicated to always time to complete the data. It's better to create custom fields inside of a lead, and then on some certain stage, all data automatically will copy it from leads to these details. I explained that in my previous videos. Okay, and the same for address actually, if you create leads manually. Okay, and so what about amount? You got an options to put amount in different currencies, in US dollars, and if you want to add some other currency or delete some currency, you need to go to the more settings, CRM settings, go to currency and delete currency you don't need, or add currency you need, other currency. So you got many here. Those are some settings here, and it will be available inside of a lead. Okay, good. About currency and the settings, I will explain later. Right, so we discussed all of this. Now we're going to set up tabs in lead card. Right, inside of a lead card, you got these tabs. Each tab means something. General is just general information. Products is the products information which connect to the lead, because products is just another objects like contacts, companies. Estimates as well. So estimates is just another objects which you connect to the lead, because you can connect estimates to a lead, deal, contact, company, and you can create them separately. Okay, I will discuss that in the future as well. So you got also automation. That means that which robots currently running for particular lead. And you got the workflows, which is quite similar to robots, but it's more complicated. And for example, if you created some business process, you will see it's running, not for now. Dependencies. So dependencies is a very important tab here, and I would move it here because you can see the lead, and for that lead you can see what kind of data also connected. Because for example, you got a lead, you could have contact connected, company connected, estimates, deals, and you can have many contacts connected, and you can see the history, what kind of objects connected to the lead, not do complicated investigation. Okay, so take that dependencies for your regular work. Right, also you got the history. History is very important as well, and if inside of that lead you got automation and different agents to work with that lead, and you have some trouble with that lead, you need to find who is guilty. And so using that history, you can find that easily, because if you click on the filter, you can, for example, create it today or find some data using these filters, for example, email message, information type created by, and playing that filters, you can find information you need. In our experience, usually because you got different automation and something happened which you don't expect, using that filter you can easily find what actually happened and find what kind of problem we got. Okay, so in leads you can use only estimates and you can't use invoices. Okay, so I will discuss invoice in estimates later as well. To customize these tabs, you just need to click more, config, as usual, hide estimates, hide workflows, for example, hide market, and finish customization. That's it. And you will have tabs which you actually need. For example, if you install our application sign up for digital signature, you will see it here, and you can see here also tabs from applications which you install from marketplace. Okay, right, let's discuss observers and chat on leads. So with dependencies tab we discuss this, and observers and chats. Right, using permissions, you can give some permissions to other agents to see that lead or not to see that lead. But for example, you got some permissions where responsible person can add data, edit data, move between stages, but no any agents can see it except supervisor, for example. I will show that later how we can do that. And just to see that data and set up just to see it, you can add an observer. So select field, select observer, and the good thing here is that you can add many observers. Add, so add. So that guys can see the data. Okay, and so I got notification here, so that admin have added is observer to the test lead, and then go to the test lead. So department view, use standard view. Okay, so I see the observer, but I just can't do anything. I only see that data. So, but responsible person can do what he can do by permissions, which had been dedicated to him. Also, you can discuss chats. Discuss this lead in chats. For example, so when you click here, automatically you create a chat with all members to whom you update as observer. Okay, means that if you will type something, all members, all observers will see that chat. But if, for example, you will add somebody in this chat, Kate, does mean that Kate added as observer to the lead. And it's very important that when you add observers, you can discuss in the chat, so you don't need to explain something. If you got some special data here, you can just mention that data is not good, and people who is observer in this chat, we can just click on view lead and automatically see the lead. So, and you can walk inside of a Bitrix and not need to go somewhere else. So perfect tool for internal communication, for CRM and task management, which is for what Bitrix is generally dedicated for. So what else we should discuss? So we cover all these topics, and in my other videos I will discuss more about leads. So if you like that video, click like. If you got questions regarding that video, please put questions in comments under that video. So thank you and bye bye.